there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here, and today we'll be going over The Damnation Game by Clive Barker. Now this book came out in 1985, and Clive Barker is the master of horror behind Hellraiser and the book it's based on, The Hellbound Heart, as well as the original Candyman. So let's get into it. So this is a Faustian tale. There's even a character who listens to a dramatic recitation of Faust in it, so it's very self-aware that this is the kind of story it is, which is nice. It's nice when authors are aware of their influences and aware of what's going on within their stories and within their storytelling process. It starts off in the ruins of Warsaw, Poland, in post-World War II, as the Russians are coming in for occupation and the Germans are fleeing and that sort of thing. We follow a thief as he seeks out to play a card game with a mysterious figure that may be the devil himself, who's never lost. We fast forward to present day 1985, where we meet Marty Strauss, who is paroled out to serve the remainder of his his prison sentence, from as a rich tycoon's bodyguard. So things are good for a while, and then hell comes due. While I was reading this book, it was kind of interesting because there's elements of it that reminded me of a different book that I also love, called Needful Things by Stephen King, which is an interesting thing because I didn't notice this when I started reading the book. On the front cover, get that in focus for you, I have seen the future of horror, and its name is Clive Barker by Stephen King. So, it's very interesting, and there's essence of it that it feels like Stephen King seized upon one aspect of the story and then expanded on it and made it his own, but it does feel inspired by it. Our main characters are Marty Strauss, who is a gambling addict, released from prison into servitude as a rich tycoon's bodyguard. He is in prison for a heist that goes badly to pay off his gambling debts. People died, bad things happened. Joseph Whitehead is the rich tycoon. He is also, this isn't a spoiler because it's pretty obvious from the way the story is told, the thief from the beginning. He's a rich and powerful man of industry, and it's very clear that he's living on borrowed time in this. We have his daughter, Carries, who is nurtured and shares powers with the gambler, not Marty, but the unbeatable gambler from the beginning of the book, who goes by Mamulian. He calls himself the Last European also. He's a card sharp, possibly the devil incarnate. I'm not going to spoil that for you. And thought Joseph Whitehead would be worthy of learning his powers, and so he teaches him with an understanding that he will get something back from Whitehead later on. We also have Anthony Breer, who is the last razor eater. Like, he literally eats razor blades, which is disgusting. Who is brought back from the dead by Mamulian to carry out his revenge. So it's kind of gory. Like, if you've seen Hellraiser, you kind of know what to expect. It's gory, it's body horror, it's all of these sickening, uncomfortable things in book form. So I honestly liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I had no idea what to expect coming into this book because I've never read any Clive Barker. I've only seen the movies that he's worked on, and it was phenomenal. So other praise for this book comes from Neil Gaiman, who described it as, quite simply, the most literate and disturbing horror novel I have ever read. The place that nightmares are spawned. Read it at your peril, but read it you must, which I think is incredibly high praise. I love Neil Gaiman, and his writing is just fantastic. And this book, I don't want to spoil it because if I say anything more about the actual story part, I will end up spoiling it for you. And this book, if you like horror, is a treat. It's amazing. I've got another Clive Barker book coming up this month, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I haven't read it as of filming this, but it's on my list of books to read. So that's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm really looking forward to reading one of his other books. Have you read any of Clive Barker? Have you seen the movies that he's worked on? What did you think of them? Aren't they fabulous? So let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!